right to education and right to life. And a child, as a human being, also has emotions. He has emotions. And so there is a psychological framework. Anytime a child is sent out of school, even when it's within the school
premises.
compound, the premises, the child goes through some psychological challenges. The psychological well-being, the self-esteem, stigma, all comes to that child. As young as they are, they know that why is it that my other colleagues, my peers are in the class and I have been sent out to go to the library. So he's not comfortable with any child. But a child doesn't know that his parents, his or her parents, are responsible for what is
happening to her
so
or him.
whether the school is taking an action, and the school will be taking an action in good faith, and because, like Madam said, she wouldn't want to send a child out there. We have had cases where children were sent home, and in crossing the streets, they were gunned down by cars. And sort of, some died, some have fatal injuries. Some of them also will not go home. They will go and join other deviant activities and stuff like that. So sometimes some schools have that policy that, hey, we're going to keep you in the library, we're going to keep you around the school premises until school closes, your mother comes to take you, and you are safe. Because once the parents bring the child to the school, within the school hours, they have entrusted the security of their child in the care of the school. And anything that happens with the child, they can place legal charges, because the child is in your care within that period of time. So if there is anything, keep the child there.
Won't the school also come to tell you that, look, we gave you a notice that you're owing, and so it was a risk on your part to ask your child to come to school knowing that your child is owing, and so if something happens to the child, we don't care.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying, that there should be spelled out policies that are in contractual agreement.
Okay.
This is what we do here in our school. You have to pay your school fees. When you default at this point in time, these and that we are going to do. And if it includes that we will send your child home.
Okay.
And you have signed to it, then you have no legal charges. Because you signed to that contract that when in the event that you default payment of school fees, your child should be sent home, regardless of the period that the child is sent home. And so you are aware, because I am aware, that before any private school or any school will send your child home for non-payment of school fees, they might have gotten to their last resort of communicating to you, sending you emails, giving you letters,
messages,
and what have you, calling your attention to it, and you may be tossing them here and there. So like a case where you are aware that your child school fees is due, and then you drop off the child and just run away. That is deliberate, it's intentional. So you are trying to, by way, play smart, inimical to the school, and that is not fair.
All right, thank you very much. Let me read this message. Please send your messages. We want to be reading them so that the resource person in the house can, talk about it if they have to pass a comment or something. This one is coming from D. Abe from Salo in Volta region. He says, good morning. Nearly everybody had been one way or the other sacked from school before, sometimes due to high fees and or student attitudes. High fees makes it difficult for parents to pay off on time, and student attitudes, some students embezzle part of the total fees their parents give them. For example, 1,008 cedis but pays 1,000 and pockets the remaining balance. Even in nursing training colleges, it happens, imposing extra burden on parents without their knowledge. The solution is that if the schools could have an electronic mode of payment. So this one is talking about where the fees are given to the children, and I mean they use part of the money and they just go and pay. Madam Sheila, must students be caned because they've not paid their fees?
No, I don't believe that children should be caned at all. It has now become a policy of Ghana Education Service.
But have you ever
Canaan
heard?
is-
Have you ever heard? Apart from the fact that GES comes out to say that we shouldn't cane students, have you ever heard that a child was caned because they've not paid their fees?
No, I've never heard
You've
that.
not heard that before.
That is news to me.
All right. So
No.
I want to ask a question that will come, Dr. Nyinaku. I mean, let me ask Miss Sheila Akwa Asari. I want to ask a question.
Yes.
A lot of people think that the government set up the public schools, don't meet up to the standard, and so everybody thinks that their parents or parents want the best of education. That's how they put it for their wards. Now, when I was in class 2, my dad took me from the public school and sent me to the Perseverance Preparatory School at Ifijeta Sokori, then in the 80s. And those of us who were in the preparatory schools, a lot of my mates who came out from the school, I mean, they are fantastic. They are doing very well. It doesn't mean that people from the public school don't do well. But what is wrong with our educational system so that a lot of people feel that if my ward doesn't go to the private school, they don't receive, the kind of tuition that they may want to give them? What is really wrong? And I want us to talk as citizens and not spectators here this morning. Call a spade a spade. What is really wrong with the public schools that makes people think that their children are not better off when they send them there?
I think that there is nothing wrong with the public schools.
Okay.
In that we are all doing the same curriculum. Or most of the private schools who are running the Ghana Education Service curriculum are following the same curriculum that are being followed in the public schools.
Okay.
So there is nothing wrong. However, with private schools, especially if the school is owned by an individual, the tendency is to pay a lot of attention and make sure that the curriculum is being followed, the discipline is being taken care of. So many things, the teachers are being monitored very carefully. However, where it comes to the public schools, the public schools are being monitored by a very big organization, that is the government, or Ghana Education Service.
All right.
Sometimes in certain areas it's a little bit difficult for the monitoring to be done very carefully.
The supervision is poor.
The supervision sometimes. I'm not saying
yeah.
that I know public schools.
Anyway, you are saying that but I had the Minister of Education in primary and secondary education, Mr. Educhung, right here on Class 91.3 FM, and he said that the private schools do better than the public schools because of supervision. So
that is exactly what I'm trying to say, that it is difficult in some areas to get supervisors to go to some areas to go and monitor the teachers.
I came to your school sometime. I keep repeating this. I was standing with your headmistress, Miss Asasifa, you see, and there was this teacher that we're going to, look at something we're going out for, something that we're going to look at. And when we were going out, and she called one of the teachers to come and drive us, and the teacher said, she asked the teacher, "Are you busy?" And she said yes. And the teacher said, there's this one person who doesn't understand what I thought. I thought that was yesterday, and so I'm trying to take her through it to make sure she understands before I do the next class. Are we going to have that in the public schools?
It might be a little difficult because you might get bigger numbers
and so
of students.
So the truth is that the truth is that it can be the same. It's not a matter of the thing being for a private person, so he wants the thing work. The government of Ghana is talking about free education. I don't want us to go there because that's not what we are talking about. Because I had someone from the Street Empowerment Foundation, right, on my show who told me that, and let me not even go there. I went to an orphanage right here in Ghana at Ashaiman. I'm talking about Save Them Young Orphanage at Ashaiman, Bethlehem. And there was this child who was supposed to go to school, and this is an orphan. And the teacher told me, the person taking the caretaker told me that they don't have the money to pay the fee, so the child is at the orphanage. And this is supposed to be a free basic education. So it means that there are a lot of costs even with the free. You understand it? But that is at the sign of it. But I'm looking at, why can't we have a system? Let's not just talk about the fact that, like, you have a private school, so this is how you want it run. The supervision is poor at the government or the public schools. What is accounting for this? Because we are training teachers all the time with government's money, and so why should we encounter that? Why do you think that is so? Be a citizen, not a spectator.
I think that some is it inspectors or some teachers may not want to go into the rural areas. Maybe.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm even in Accra. I'm talking about supervision.
I think that the public schools in Accra do quite well.
Oh, okay.
In Accra, they do quite well.
So the problem is that the cities do well, but so just like in Ghana, where we have our schools in the villages, reading under trees, studying under trees, and everything is not good. We seem to use Accra as a yardstick of the progress and the development of the country. But when you go into the remote areas, it's just so bad.
You may find in some of the private schools, because they are paying, you may find a class of 10, 20, but you go to the public school, you may find a class of 50.
Yeah.
The teacher may not be able to put in as much with a class of 50. If he gives a test and he has to mark 50 books, it will take a long time for him to do that. So the tendency to do the test, to assess the children may actually be less. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. Anyway, you can send us a WhatsApp on 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. We are also live on Facebook, so if you want to see how Ms. Sheila Akwasari looks like, you can see her on Facebook. And then if you also want to see who Dr. Jonas Hinaku is, you can also see him right on Facebook at Class 91.3 FM. Class 91.3 FM on Facebook. Thank you very much. I'll come to Dr. Hinaku. If you look at the psychology, the emotional part of it, where someone is sending their award to a public school, we've made it look like that. So I feel that my children, I'm not educating them well because they are not in a private school. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like somebody who has sent their awards to a private school and they can't pay for the tuition or the fees, and so the school may sack them because that's what they feed on to take care of the school. All right, now, so somebody is thinking that, well, as we call it, Saito, or the public schools don't do well. I mean, where do you think that perception came from? So that someone who can't afford the private school could still send their awards to a public school and expect that the public schools or the teachers there would do as well as the private schools will do?
I think all comes to evaluation of performance results.
Okay.
Because where you have a case where you have two children in the home, and one is in the public school, and the other one is in the private school, then maybe at home you set the same task for them, and you get to see the one who is in a private school performing much better than the one in the public school, or where after the BEC examination results, you realize that the one who went to the private school did much better than the one in the public school. And over the years, if this trend keeps following, then the impression that is created per mindset is that the private schools are doing much better than the public schools are doing, which to some extent is true, because we have mentioned the issue of supervision as one of the factors that assist private schools to actually put their schools, their teachers and staff on their toes to get the work done, given the same curriculum that the private schools, the public schools have. You realize that even if you are measuring in terms of quality of skill, most private schools don't even have the qualified teachers. the
Yes.
lack of a better word,
Mm.
that
Mm.
most of the government assisted schools, you are only enrolled into the government school to teach there after you have completed a teacher training school from a recognized teacher training college or university. So every teacher, every teacher perhaps who has been employed in a public school has gone through some university education or a teacher training college.
Yeah.
Just opposite with the, that of the public, the private schools. Normally they are deficient in that area. So what is making the untrained teacher or the semi-trained teacher
do well
in the private school do much better than the one in the public school? It's about attitude of the teacher and the mindset that here there is no much supervision. And you see, in the government assisted schools or in the public schools, termination of appointment is even difficult. Once you're enrolled in, you have to take some. There is a need until there is a situation that frowns on some legitimate policies within the Ghana Education Service Act or the policy before you can be excommunicated or dismissed from. Whereas in the private school, it's not so. So the teacher knows that, hey, I am at the mercy.
Well, in the private school, if a teacher rapes a student, the person will be sacked. But in the government school, they will shift you to another
exactly.
school. Yeah.
So we have some of them, not always. So we have these challenges. So the teacher goes to the school, he knows that, hey, the headmaster cannot sack me. So if the headmaster cannot sack me, we can rub shoulders.
Anyway, thank you very much.
It doesn't happen in the private school.
You continue. Let me read this message. I say, good morning. I'm Isaiah Davo from Dwapon in the Volta region. I think parents should expect their wards to be sacked for their fees before they think of paying. Sacking people demoralizes them a lot and it really affects them. If you are a parent and you know your financial capacity does not tally with that school's demand, please, it's not a must for you to send them there. And that's coming from Isaiah Davo. Let me read another message that is also here. It says, good morning, boss. The supervision of the private school is higher than that of the government school from... so that's what he's trying to say. So that's coming from Adonovic from Chopoli. All right. Now, the phone lines, you can now call us and contribute to the show. 0202 628 193. The number again is 0202 628 193. So you write the number down: 0 2 0 2 6 2 8 1 9 and 3. So you can call us now and we will listen to you. Let me come to yes. You're going to say something, yeah?
Yes, I wanted to add to what my colleague was just
good
saying, and that talking about private schools and public schools. I think that some parents actually look for something in particular. Most of the private schools may have certain characteristics or programs that parents actually do like that may not be found in the public schools.
All right, thank you very much. There's a caller. Let me just pick this call. Hello? 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 All right, madam, continue.
Yes, I was just saying that as far as the reason why some parents prefer the private schools as compared to the public schools is because some private schools actually have programs, certain programs or certain characteristics. They may do certain things that may be different from the public school.
Yeah.
So a school may have discipline as their core value.
All right, thank you very much. Let me pick this call. You continue. Thank you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, please continue.
Yeah, I was saying a school may have maybe discipline as their core value, or a school may have music. Some parents are very interested in music and may choose to go to a school that music is very
Thank you very much. Let me pick this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right. please continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I was just trying to say about a school that has something special.
Yes, my question is this. I mean, let's try to solve this and see, I mean, where the problem is coming from. For years, we have always have an issue with the public schools. And like you just said, there are additions to what you do that attract parents to bring their wards there.
So, but then they also need to make sure that they can afford it.
Yes.
Why go for what you can't afford?
Good. So we are not being fair here. We need to be fair to the ordinary Ghanaian. Okay. Now, I'm a Ghanaian. I have the right to be educated. Now, why is it that someone that I have brought forth, I need to give them the best of education? Why is it that I will send my ward to a public school and I may not get some of the things that the private schools are getting? Why can't the government play some of this things so that they look at what the private schools are doing and try to, at least if not all, play, do some of those things there so that these children can also get the same benefits that those here are getting? So that it's not like, because I don't have money, I can't get that kind of tuition for my ward.
You see, every school, and like you said, there's a curriculum. What Madame is saying is what we call maybe the co-curricular activities that the school adds to its curriculum. That becomes extra part of the entire school curriculum. But even in the government-assisted schools, there are also programs within the curriculum that are co-curricular that a child would also be exposed to, except the school do not have the infrastructure. If the school doesn't have the infrastructure, then that is where they are challenged with maybe issues like music. I went to a public school.
Yeah.
In my public school here in La St. Paul's, it was a school that has a resource center. The school has a resource center. We had a park and we had a program.
All right, thank you very much. Hold on, let me try and see if this call come through. Hello? Hello? All right, we are having challenges with our phone line, so you can send us a WhatsApp on 0500,000 202 0500,000. Very sorry for not getting through to us. We are still working on the lines, and when it's done, you can get to us.
So yeah. we have a cultural program, a musical program, and so that were added.
Okay.
And it's the student's choice to belong to any of these classes if they will, if they wish to. And that was government assisted. The problem we have, or what we have to understand, is that every school, per the curriculum, there is what we call the explicit curriculum.
Okay.
Where the teachers or the school needs to teach some things directly.
Okay.
That has educational cognitive content. So much of the affective and psychomotor are those the extracurricular or the co-curricular activities that are done. So when a child goes to school, the first point of call is to achieve cognitive content.
Okay.
The affective and other things are also taught alongside, but they don't emphasize so much on those psychomotor, because whilst the child is growing up, some of these things are picked up, and some of these things have to inure even to talents. When you don't have a musical talent, it will be a waste of time joining a musical program because you will not even get anything. So we all have to understand that there is a role that even the child as an individual genetically is playing because there is an intelligent quotient also at work, that it doesn't matter the environment you place the child. If the child will perform, the child will perform. But a particular environment can also enhance the child's intelligent quotient a bit higher than he would if the environment was not provided. That is why we look at schools' environments and their school content and stuff like that. So we have to know that it is not always about what school you are taking your child, but it is about what you want for your child.
All right.
What you want the child to get and what you want the child to become at the end of the day. I never went to any private school. I went to a public school. But I ended up competing with the big shots when we went to Legon Presec, where we had people coming from Morning Stars. And in my school, I was the only person who attended. Some of my colleagues went to Achimota.
Thank you very much. When some went to Achimota, you continue. Let me just read this message, and then you can come in. Because the phone lines are not working, I don't want us to miss any of the messages that we have. It's a good morning. Teachers in public schools only extort money from the students. Anyway, some teachers. So there is this school.
Maybe he can't do this.
Anyway, you let me read your message. Anyway, I'm not the one who sent it anyway. It's a good morning. Some teachers in the public schools only extort monies from the student daily. There's this school called Mante Churu Presby Basic School inside East Airport. I can specifically point at the students pay 1 CD each day for so-called extra classes and 50 pesos to buy cane each day. Wow. But they said they shouldn't cane again. So what are the canes for? The amazing thing is the teachers in that school contribute susu every day, and you can tell these monies they used, and you can tell this money anyway. I don't know where you got this facts from anyway. He said, how can they teach well when all they think about is the next money for susu? All right. There's a call. Let's see if this one will go through. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Anyway, all right. So continue. Yeah.
So what I'm saying in essence is that we shouldn't. Yes, private schools are doing well, but government schools also do well too. But it also depends on the individual child's intelligent quotient, the parents' support to ensuring that your child, even if in the private in the public school, is getting quality education. Because we can't fail that it's only the
private
people
school
in the private schools that are getting to the universities, getting to the senior secondary schools and stuff like that. Maybe the proportions or the percentages would be skewed if we are looking at it from the private school point of view. But you have some students who would emerge better even than people who are schooling in the private schools from the public schools. So we shouldn't always have that perception that, hey, once I take my child to the public school, then my child is not going to
So, Madam Sheila, let me read this message before you come here. I want to ask you a question. So, please, my name is Abraham Edu. So, he said, Mr. Abraham Edu, I think one major problem is parents don't pay attention to their wards education. That's what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Hardly do you find a parent check the performance of their wards? There was a time where we have open days at school before school vacates, and parents were asked to come to the school to go through the books, of their wards to see their performance and sign, and see whether there's something that they can do. But those things, I don't think we are doing them anymore. But let me come back to you.
We do them in the private
Yes.
schools.
So you see actually, yeah. So that's the fact. We do them in the private schools, but in the public schools, I don't remember the last time I saw any school do those things.
Well,
now, let me ask Madam Sheila Akwa another question. You mentioned the ideal number should be, say, 25 to a class or less. Now, in our public, there's a school at Zeno, like the Zeno TMA school. Let me mention because that's a fact. You have this chair that's supposed to sit about 2 students, sitting about 3 students. Psychologically, and as a director of a school, does it have effect not on the teacher teaching the child, but does that congestion have some effect on the child that is in the classroom? Where the seat, the seat is supposed to take 2, and then you have 3 students or sometimes 4 sitting on that. I mean, does it affect their performance as in class?
Definitely to affect the performance.
Yeah. How does it affect it?
I believe that there is not enough space even to write. That alone for me says that it's not good enough. I think that the children need some space, enough space to be able to write properly. It can affect the handwriting, and then though with the lower classes or with preschool, copying is allowed. I think it's very okay because sometimes peer exchanges are very good. It is easier to learn from a colleague, someone who is learning with you, who is in the same class, your same age. It is easier to learn from them than even to learn from a teacher.
Right, thank you very much. Let me try and pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, good morning. Please lower the volume on your radio set, or if you can just move away from it. All right, thank you very much. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Joyce.
Joyce, okay. Joyce, talk to us. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah. I'm calling from Okito or Brecho.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, a village in Abona East District.
Okay.
I'm a government teacher.
Okay.
Yes. I had a panel discussion.
Be brief about it because our time is up.
Yes. There's no way the private school
Mm.
is better
Mm.
than the public school.
Mm.
The public school teachers are doing our best.
Oh, so you're a
And we
public
have
school
maximum
teacher.
supervision.
Okay.
You see, the kind of kids that we are teaching here, it is not easy.
Mm.
And I don't believe that any good private school in Accra can handle even 10 of the children that we teach here.
Mm.
The kind of children that we teach, they are totally dumb.
Mm.
And they don't have any good upbringing from, from home.
Oh, so what you are trying to say
They
is that
have
most of the children
Yes.
that don't have good upbringing and children who's
Definitely.
they are those that are sent to the private schools, eh?
Yes. You see, the kids, they fend for themselves. Most of the time, they have to go and work elsewhere to make money for themselves, to cater for themselves.
Okay, all right.
Just imagine such a kid in your class.
I get your point. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So what she's trying to say is that they are also doing well, and that what she's trying to say that mostly it's the good students are quite well. Yeah, they are planting school papa. So that's what she's trying to say, that the parents will only send those kids that are dumb to them to raise. So my last call, then we end the show. Do I have a caller? All right, so you can call 0202628193. Very sorry, our phone line is not working, but don't worry. Okay, so
I
continue.
don't think.
Okay, there's someone on the line. Let me just pick this last call. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
All right, so talk to us. What's your name?
My name
Your name is what?
is Peter Graham
Graham. You are calling us from where, please?
of Volta region.
Volta region. All right, so talk to us.
Yeah, thanks so much. I think my sister is like most students are quite selective to this country. I those who are down at the government school for to be happy training. At times when they train the students, they are getting intelligent from the government school to the private school, and the private school for me more than the government school. Meanwhile, the checking point must be up from the private government school. Yes, like the things will be going on. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Our time is almost up. Let me read these messages, and then I said, please. Oh, very sorry. The calls are now coming through. We are sorry, our line. We had some challenges with our line, and so you don't worry. Next week we're going to give you another opportunity. We're going to repeat the same discussion next week, so that you can get. It's a boss in the 19th. Okay, all right. So government schools do better than private school, but now it has turned upside down. So what he's trying to say that in the 90s or in the 19s, the government schools were doing better than the private schools, but now the thing has so maybe we pray that it will balance, and then we can do that. Finally, your final submission.
I wanted to react to what the first caller actually said.
All right.
We have not said here
Yes.
that the government
Schools,
the private schools
yeah, you
are
never said
better
that. Yes.
than the government schools. We have
Yeah.
never said it.
Yeah.
We said they are doing better, and doing better.
And you didn't say it. Actually, the minister said it right here in the studios of
that's
Cloud. Yeah.
that's one point. And also, I disagree when they say that it's only the poor, the bad students that are sent to the private schools. No,
yeah.
my parents
That are sent to
afford
the public
private
schools.
Yes,
No.
that are sent to the public schools.
Yeah.
No. My parents could afford for a private school education, but they decided not because they knew that the government schools also have content, so they sent us there. So it's not everybody who is at the government school that is damn deaf.
Thank you very much.
I understand their frustrations.
Yeah.
That some of the students go through challenges of selling, as she mentioned, but that is not to say that somebody also in the private school may not have the same
challenge. Yes, true. Thank you very much. Your last comment.
My last comment is that coming back to school fees, is that parents should take the time to decide what they can afford, and not to go for what they cannot afford. And that if you do go for what you can afford, make sure you understand the policy of the school.
All right.
So that you can make payment.
Thank you very much. And that was Miss Sheila Akwasari, who is the director, Mother Care School, East Cantonment, and MCS International High which is at East Legon. And we also had Dr. Jonas Hinaku, who is educationist and a child psychologist. We hope you have enjoyed the show. We are sorry, a lot of messages are coming. Unfortunately, our time is up and we can't read them, but we will try and come back to the same discussion so that we can go back to some of your messages, and also once the phone lines are not working, you can call us and then talk to us. We say a big thank you. My name is Abraham, and this is how we end the show. Rami Betis is here, and he will continue with the next show. When I'm driving back home and I'm listening to him, I feel like just slowing down, park somewhere, just enjoy the music. Thank you very much for doing the listening. We hope to have you again next week. God bless you. Bye.